Hello, welcome back. This is the third episode of the PalsCast. With me this week is my brother, my best friend, and a man who low-key has two penises, Cris.
This week I see you every day. What's up? What's going on, Zach?
Right?
I wake up and you're the first. Well, after seeing my wife,
Okay,
you're the next person I see every morning.
good. I'm glad my nickname is not your wife.
I agree.
It was code.
Yeah, that's it. This is purely heterosexual. Deal with it.
We're in the right state for gay love. Well,
Everything will melt, though.
we've seen Family Guy.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen enough Family Guy, at least.
Family Guy. And I mean, I'm not as avid in the South Park as you are, but it's the same vein as Family Guy, but I would say South Park's far superior to Family Guy.
Oh, yeah. That's the best lullaby to go to sleep to.
The do I can't do it. The intro noise music
Yeah, I know, me either.
at the start of the episode, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like they show the bus and it's all paper mache, not paper mache.
Paper.
Cardboard paper. Arts and crafts.
Yeah. Third grade arts and crafts, which ended up being the greatest thing ever.
If you had to say your number one favorite South Park episode,
Butters.
is this the title of it?
Episode. Oh, I thought you were going to say character.
No.
Oh, shit. I
But there's
don't
my
remember.
follow-up question.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the episode, but it's the episode where Butters begins the Wieners Out movement.
Yeah. You do like that. You reference it quite a bit. I am going to have a topic for each of you guys, and you're going to teach me about this topic.
I didn't realize I was multiple people.
Yeah. Well, last week we had Hironeko, and her topic was soba noodles.
All right.
So she had to teach me everything about. She needed to give me a lesson on soba noodles.
So you got learned on noodles.
Sort of.
It did not work.
The conversation went places. It went to Naruto Uzumaki, more or less.
Oh, yeah.
So if you watch it, you'll see how things get there. So ironically, that's just because what you brought me. The topic I had for you was coffee.
Go on.
Teach me about coffee, Cris.
You want me to learn you some coffee?
Yeah, what is coffee?
Coffee is the life essence that allows me to wake up every morning and have purpose.
Damn. How do you make coffee?
You squeeze the life out of dying people and make grains out of it. You ground those, and then you put hot water, and then you make coffee, which is the bread of life.
That makes me think of wait, now I'm confused. Is coffee a bread that you eat, or is it something that...
I guess the bread of life is an expression.
Okay, so it's not...
Also water of life, also whatever you want to call it.
So it's a consumable.
Yeah, I'm just making shit up, man.
Oh, okay, shit. Are there different types of coffee? Does it matter? Or is it all just from beans?
They're all beans. That's 100%.
They
They are all
okay.
beans. 100%.
What about powdered coffee? That's not beans.
I'm about to pour hot coffee on you.
No. Not like this.
You just ground those beans, and then you got powdered coffee, which is not powdered, it's ground coffee.
Some countries, it's not an American thing. I don't know how global it is, but some countries, I can't say a lot because I don't know.
A lot of countries.
Some countries, I think South American countries, will kind of have like, it's not candied coffee, but it's coffee beans, and then it's like coated in chocolate, and then like that's a snack.
Oh yeah, my wife loves those.
Say what?
My wife loves those.
Oh, okay.
They put them whenever we go to that. I don't know if you've ever been bakery called Mozart's Bakery.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
they have a coffee.
Has one, and there's a few other places.
Well, there's one right next to H Mart.
They got some pretty good cake.
Yeah, some of those have
Fancy
coffee
cake.
beans on it, and I can't stand eating raw coffee beans. I don't know why, but she fucking loves it.
It sounds weird to me too. So, but I do know, like I was given a bag. I want to say it was from Peru, but it was a bag of just. It was pretty small. It was like maybe half of a fist size. Depending on your hand. But
if you're Thanos,
it was just...
it was 37 servings.
That's the family pack.
Half a family?
Damn. I mean, after you finish, only half remains.
If you just snap your fingers for them to bring you more, oh no, half the world's gone.
But yeah, I mean, it was just coffee beans and it was coated in chocolate. So
that's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it has. Everybody's got their niche on what they like with their sweets. Some people like coffee. I just like about as much sugar as you can pack into anything.
I had this conversation last week where like sugar, I mean, you can just put sugar into anything and make it sweeter. Like I could put sugar into water and I'm like, this is some really sweet water that I have.
I mean, you get that hot enough and you get the ratio high enough, you got caramel.
Yeah. This is true.
So, coffee.
Yeah.
What else do you want to know about coffee?
Well, you told me like, coffee is bread, and you told me you need it to live.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't, but I do.
And then I fished out that coffee was beans.
I mean, other than that, I guess it really... there's not much to teach about coffee. Okay. Everybody's got their preference. Everybody either likes...
All right. I just came from Mars.
Okay, if you just came from Mars...
You have to tell me what coffee is. I'm like, the fuck's this?
I wouldn't tell you. I just put a fucking cup of coffee... Cup of coffee in front of you and just have you drink it. That's the best way to go about that.
The first human Martian interaction is just
here, try this shit.
Right? It's like, let's go to Starbucks.
Oh no!
I'll get you hooked up.
No, Starbucks is after you know what coffee is.
Yeah. Well, even TV said that TV liked Starbucks, and he said that he knows just what did he refer to it as? Starbucks.
Oh God!
I think more or less like milkshakes, kind of, or close to that.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's really what it is. It's just sugar, coffee. It's what you do every morning with protein and coffee, minus the sugar because you don't add it.
I've been using some powdered peanut butter in that. It's been good.
Nice. Is that to dull out any coffee-ness?
I get the flavor for the powder is French vanilla cream, and a little
what powder?
The protein powder that I put in there, and it's a little too strong. So the peanut butter
kind of evens that out.
Yeah. So
nice. You should just try the organic stuff that I take. You could have just asked me about not coffee, but protein.
Well, no.
Segue.
No. Well, maybe next time you teach me about protein, which I know a little bit about, but we'll do that later because. Damn it, I really wanted to start going into this protein kick, but no.
Let's go.
No.
We're about to go hit the gym.
No.
Yeah, we are. We're about to go hit the gym.
That's true, too. I did want to segue into some anime.
From coffee to anime.
Hard left turn.
I was going to say from beans to... anime titties?
This is not a good... Well, we can talk about that.
I mean, they are in every anime.
Because they're
hands down.
There are two anime that we recently finished that we can talk about. And I you know what? I'm just going to say, I'm fine. Spoilers.
Oh, yeah. I guess we should probably...
Yeah, just up front.
Yeah. There's going to be spoiling,
spoiler-ish.
So if you're an anime fan, we're about to spoil every anime you've ever liked.
Yeah. Snape kills Luffy. So
Goku and Naruto duke it out in the mountains to see who throws the ring into the fire. Yeah. Anyways.
Or I could just Snape kills Ace. But
also true, very sad.
Yeah. He just takes out the whole family. He's just like, you know what, no.
Much sad. Avada Kedavra, Ace dies.
So one that we both finished this week was Darling and Frank.
Yeah,
I think one finished that
literally like 30 minutes ago.
One that we started this week was Darling and Frank.
Yeah, that's true.
It was good.
It was better than I expected, and I see what all the hype is about. I also see what all the criticism was about because I read a couple of reviews.
What kind of criticism was there?
The fact that you have no fucking clue what that show is about by episode 6. Like, you have zero idea.
Because I haven't heard anything negative about the show. And to that criticism, as opposed it can lead you to a very confusing place. I think it's definitely meant to. I think having mysteries in your world isn't really a negative thing to have.
No. Don't get me wrong. I don't necessarily agree with the negative aspect of it, but I can see why they would say what they say. Like, for example, I guess the article that I read, I can't cite it to save my life because Reddit exists and I just read it.
I'm sure it was on Huffington Post, so let's go with that.
Yeah, the New York Post, actually.
Oh, shit.
Fancy.
They had the best anime coverage.
Yeah, I pulled out my monocle and my top hat and then my waifu blanket, and I was in.
Yes.
I was in.
As all New York Post readers do. And your coffee.
And my coffee. It mentioned that it was just slow up front and not very much character development because the story has a lot to cover in a short period of time, which I agree the character development could have been deeper, especially towards the end, but I don't think they did a bad job. I think they established all of the appropriate connections in order for everything to make sense, considering it's got a lot of fan service in my perspective. The whole bend over and ride this robot and look at my butt while I do it.
I think definitely I agree with all those points. It does have a lot, especially starting out, it definitely has a lot of fan service. It has, like, you know, starting out and seeing these episodes, like, oh, this is just about butts and boobs. There's just a butts and boobs and robot boobs anime.
Yeah, and that's how they drag everybody in. I love nothing more than take over anime titties.
Because I feel like it was between 6 or 8, something so like fairly early on, they have their beach episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then they have an episode, you know, they have dissolving clothing. I'm like, this is all this buzz and boobs. I get it. All right, that's what you guys are about. Just buzz, right?
I mean, yeah.
But, and then after, I think, before the halfway point, it just really almost just drops all that entirely. And because a lot of it is, I mean, up front is a lot of fan service stuff. And then you have a lot of world mysteries because you're seeing the show more or less through the eyes of these children, and these children aren't told everything, and so as an audience, you're not told everything. Mm-hmm. And then you also have kind of all these relationships forming and building, and then you start to intersect to where these relationships that are forming and building and these world mysteries that they're trying to unravel kind of start to become tied and linked together. Yeah. So, and like when those two major plot points or two major plot focuses of the relationships and the world mysteries start to get, you start to see how they're actually linked together. I think it's kind of when the fan service starts to drop off.
Yeah, which at that point they've made it through the hurdle of catching your attention. Yeah. If you're that far, then you're in. But
so here's a really fair question: did the show need the fan service? If it didn't have it, would you still have watched it?
Just because I normally commit very hard to the shit that I watch, I would have still watched it. That being said, I think in the very early episodes, I don't think any anime really needs fan service, because if you're really watching anime for fan service, just look up hentai and that you get everything you ever want about a show.
Yeah, those anime are out there.
Exactly. So
I think To Love Ryu is up there. Like whenever I think of like ecchi, super fan service kind of shows, To Love Ryu is like the first one that comes to mind.
Well, the first anime I ever watched was with Sebi, and it was Lofina, and I didn't realize what fan service was, but that was my first freaking show. So I quickly assumed all anime was like that.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, because that's your introduction. Like, oh, okay, so this is anime because it's your first one.
And we bought it from GameStop.
I feel like my first anime, and I would say these definitely count as anime. Not even.
Go on.
This isn't a debate. Okay, I know this is anime.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
My first anime is probably in tandem Pokemon and Digimon.
Okay, I guess that's fair. But based on that point of view, then Lofina would not have been my first.
Yeah, because I was trying to think back, like, well, what was my first one? I guess it was those, because Saturday morning cartoons and 4Kids and shit like that.
I guess before I watched that, everything that I had watched I considered cartoons, not anime. I never really truly separated the difference until I saw more adult ideas develop in some of the shows, and I guess that's where I started differencing between
Ava?
Yeah.
Ava,
Yeah,
I think
alright.
definitely.
I mean, if you want to go that
The
deep.
topic's covered in Ava, and the time's covered like in what Ash Ketchum deals with.
Catch Pokemon, existentialism. You know.
I have that scene in my head now of like, you know, when Unit 01, the jaw just like starts opening up and just starts going beastal, whatever, right?
Yeah.
In, like, the forest, like Pikachu doing that. Because like,
God
holy
damn.
fuck, Pokemon.
Like, Ash, I need you to catch all of them and save the world. Like,
He's like,
Professor, you alright?
he's like, fuck it, I'm immortal, right? All right, let's do this.
Yeah, he's the oldest 15-year-old I've ever met.
Yeah. He's not. There's a division, but I don't want to get into this. So
Me either, because I stopped watching Pokemon a long time ago.
Jumping back to Darling and Frank, so we can then get to the second thing.
Oh yeah.
I think I had the thought a little bit earlier than you did near the end. But basically near the end, we both definitely had this thought: is this Gurren Lagann?
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely caught that before I did, because it only happened whenever they break out of the giant mech and down to the smaller mech that I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Is
So
this the final?
Last episode, you were like, is this Gurren Lagann? And then I think, which is episode 24. And then for me, I think it was episode 20. I was like, wait, is this Gurren Lagann? Like, looking back at all of this. So I already looked into this. I already have tabs.
Oh my god, alright.
This is Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
Okay? And this is the Japanese staff.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the director, is Hiroyuki Imaishi. I said the last name wrong. And then the series composition, which I'm really not sure what the job title entails, is this, all right?
I'm going to say that the series composition is the person that puts together how the show's going to flow based on the ideas provided.
That's, I think, what storyboard would be, which storyboard's down here. And then you have script.
I mean, they would be in charge of the story development.
Which these two are also in charge of script. And
yeah, anyways, let's not argue about their jobs.
So,
moving on.
All right, we're looking at the director for Gurren Lagann and the series composition, right? Now, Kill la Kill is also the same team.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That I've known. Because Gurren Lagann came first, and then it was Kill la Kill. And Kill la Kill is kind of Gurren Lagann for girls, which...
With a shit ton of fan service for guys.
Yeah.
With thongs and battle outfits.
And when I say, like... Kill la Kill is Gurren Lagann for girls, I don't mean like it's weaker. I mean in the sense that like I think a lot of the characters and messages are meant to resonate more towards a female audience, but to deliver the same kind of message.
Yeah. Because Gurren Lagann's all about, brotherhood and saving humanity, but things we deal with every day.
Yes.
More than anything, your brethren connections being one with your band of brothers.
Yeah.
So
Kill la Kill seems the more feminine version of Gurren Lagann, which Gurren Lagann is hyper macho. I mean,
Oh, hell yeah.
Testosterone leaking from those drills is just
massive.
And they have pretty much the same message, right?
Yeah.
They're pretty much, which is basically just because the anti-spiral and then close.
Close restrict you ladies. Please do away with them.
Represent the same thing of just like an alien force wanting homogenized conformity.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And then, so here we are with, I actually went to the person. So here is Darling and Fran.
Mm-hmm.
And nope, not the same director, not the same series composition. But I did look at the director.
What else has the director directed?
This director was staff in, and he was staff in Gurren Lagann.
Oh, wow.
And
he was character
Kill la Kill.
design.
So he did key animation in Kill la Kill, and then in Gurren Lagann he was character design, animation director, assistant animation director, eye catch illustration, key animation, and like layout supervisor. So he was
a lot.
heavily involved in Gurren Lagann, involved in Kill la Kill. So he definitely comes from that project, but it's not so. We see a lot of similarities between the two, and there is a reason for that.
Yeah. I feel like there's not a terrible amount of diversity whenever it comes to directors and producers and people that pretty much make anime. I feel like at its core, it's the same like 20 people that I've seen either producing or working on the same shows like round and round. Granted, most if not all anime is really coming out of Japan. Like, you don't have very many anime.
Korea and China might have some rival stuff. There was
that is true, but by comparison, I mean, at least in popularity, I may be mistaken, but
I've seen one or two Indian animes.
Interesting.
Yep. Didn't really watch them.
Okay, that's fair.
But I was like, oh, cool. This exists. This is interesting.
I don't think I've ever watched an anime that wasn't Japan produced. I know I've read a manga that was Korean, and I think it was I forget the name of it now. The one about the martial artists, and I can't remember what the name of it is.
Was it like the greatest disciple or whatever kind of thing? 'Cause that's
sort of. No. It wasn't called the greatest. Damn it.
I can see that anime getting remade.
It's also happening a lot because they're running out of
a lot of anime are getting remade. Because
the ideas have been explored. Like, the well is running quite dry as far as creativity and ingenuity in regards to that.
Are either getting remade or abridged. Like Dragon Ball Z Kai is just Dragon Ball Z abridged. Inuyasha got an abridged. But Uchiha Tora was remade. Sailor Moon got remade. Cutie Honey
remade? Damn.
Cutie Honey is current. I think it's called Sailor Moon Crystal. I think.
Oh.
And it's just a remake.
Okay.
And Cutie Honey is currently being remade, but Cutie Honey has been made so many times. Cutie Honey is pretty old. So, but I think the theme is very well known in Japan. So people, oh yeah, it's Cutie Honey.
Okay, that's fair.
Kind of like Chala, Head Chala is synonymous with do you know what show? It's Dragon Ball Z. It was the opening theme for Dragon Ball Z in Japan.
Oh God, yeah,
there
you're right.
From episode 1 to episode 199. For an anime to stick with a theme that long, I mean, Hunter x Hunter also stuck with their opening theme for a long time.
Yeah, they did. And everything's flowing back to me like a waterfall of memories, and I'm like, wow, that song's gonna be stuck in my head all throughout the gym.
So, Darling and Fran, I would say, more or less, it's a Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, I don't disagree. It's still a pretty interesting story. I like the way that they told the story, and it was interesting how they ended it. It felt like the time passage in the last episode was kind of ridiculous with that tree growing. I was like, is it 100 years? Is it like 20? What are we looking at?
Which they had a long time to travel back for how far they went.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Right.
But my question came from, what the fuck kind of tree is that? Because trees live a couple hundred years or so, but come on now.
Magic
trees. I was going to say, with the building development behind it showing, okay, the humanity's moving forward.
I feel like just personally 200 years.
Okay, that's fair.
Personally, it looked like around 200 years.
Okay, that's acceptable.
I have nothing to base that on.
Yeah, it's purely a guess, and it's purely to satisfy my curiosity, but yeah.
I mean, for me personally, also, like, I saw the same thing. I was like, man, how long has it been? I want to say 200 years. That's the answer. So I can sleep at night.
That's fair.
The other anime, and I finished it a little before, but you finished it this week, was Wotakoi.
Yeah, that's a pretty down-to-earth show.
It was an office romance, about otaku, and they were in their late 20s. They're like 26 to 28. Which is
right.
Relatable. It's relatable for us. I think animation wise, it's a much easier show because it's in an office space. And
it's not ridiculous.
There's pretty much only 6 characters.
Yeah, because it's also like 11 episodes, so it's nothing. We're not talking about life-changing moments or anything here. It's pretty much the interaction between otakus whenever it comes to relationships and love and their insecurities. And I mean, for a lot of people that may be listening, if it's how frowned upon, I guess, in society it still is to openly talk about, oh yeah, I watch anime, or I play video games a lot and things like that when we should really not be.
Any kind of stigma that might come of those hobbies.
Exactly. Everybody feels like, like you're that kind of person. But yeah.
In this one, it shows functioning adults that have their hobbies, and the negativeness of that stigma is still present with some of those characters, because there's the main female who's hiding it. She's like, if people know what I'm into and things like that.
That she writes
boys love.
Yeah.
Hard guy on guy fucking.
Yep.
Yeah, and she's like, if people know that I'm
that's
that
gonna be frowned upon.
Yeah, I'm not gonna people are gonna outcast me and things like that. So.
Yeah.
And then you have the gamer who's like, man, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, which, I mean, let's face it, most gamers really don't care.
Yeah.
I guess it's less frowned upon to be into games than it is to be into anime for whatever reason.
Yeah. I think there's definitely levels. I think the fact that, like, Japan has Sony and Nintendo home base there, and, things with, like, the Switch, I think, in general, the gamer stigma is definitely coming down. But I think the anime things like that is still probably strong.
Which is really odd, because I've never seen so much anime promotion like I do in Japan. You won't see that in the US pretty much anywhere. But in Japan, you'll see a car that's decorated in anime shit.
Yeah.
And it's purely promotional basis, but still. Like, that's not used here at all.
I think it comes down to, like, kind of who it's targeted towards, because the back to the show, the supervisor, the orange-haired dude.
Yeah.
He is into I want to say girls love, but shoujo manga, so like Cardcaptor Sakura and then that's his bag. So I think he would definitely like people would have normal people in quotes would have a negative reaction to like his hobbies, because like you're a grown man and you're into like Cardcaptor Sakura or Sailor Moon. That's weird. I feel like that would be
that's the first thought that would come to people's mind. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
So, yeah, but I really enjoyed the show. There was a lot of really good scenes. I love the younger brother.
God, yeah. The younger brother's great.
No, he's not.
No, he's fucking hilarious.
I hate that kid.
Freaking hilarious.
I want to strangle him so much. He's so bad at games.
He's a comedic relief.
He's so bad at.
Since the main character, the main guy character is like very two-dimensional. Like, he's either happy or not happy, and even when he's happy, he's really not that happy. He's just content, complacent. The comedic relief of the brother almost makes me feel like whenever he was born, he kind of left that part of him within his mother's genes.
Yeah.
And then the kid came out and just grabbed all of it, literally just every feeling. And he's like a pop star cheerleader in guy form. That's pretty much what he is.
He missed the boy band boat. If he could have joined a boy band, he would have.
Oh yeah.
He's not part of one.
He's the lead singer. He's like Justin Timberlake.
A lot of it like their relationship. The older and younger brother definitely reminded me of like me and Michael, in like in a lot of ways. Not that Michael, just the youthful enthusiasm that the younger brother has and stuff like that. And I was older, so I was better at most games and things like that. And I definitely had that attitude towards a younger brother that you see in the show.
God, I don't think I've ever. I guess for me that's been different, just because while growing up, my sister and I were only allowed to play video games during the weekend, so not during school or anything like that. And then after we moved to the U.S., whenever my parents were working so often outside of school hours, and my sister and I would come home at around 3:30, something like that, we would have a lot of free time. And then we realized, we can sneak and play video games. But we would play a lot of long RPGs like
me and Michael, staying late up at night doing stuff, and parents coming in like, are you guys asleep?
I would not. I would get my ass whooped if I did that. always trying to respect parents, but trying to get a seat, trying to push to see
those
where.
games,
yeah.
I mean, I was that way with like Final Fantasy 9.
Mm.
It was I was hooked on it. I'm like, yeah, no, I want to finish this.
I was never. I think we've had this conversation. I was never able to get into Final Fantasy 9. Like 7, 8, 10, yes. 9, I was never able to. I don't know why. Like I played a few hours and I was like, eh. It may have just been because at the time I had just already skipped it. Because whenever I was here, I played a little bit of 7, then I played 8, and then I went back and played 7 all the way through, and felt a little lackluster. The graphical difference between 7 and 8 is pretty enormous.
Yeah.
And then 10 happened.
9 and 10, the graphical difference is pretty big.
Exactly. So I guess I was like, I mean, I still remember the amount of hours that I spent just as soon as I got that freaking PS2 and Final Fantasy X. I didn't see the light of fucking day for months.
You actually used the Vita.
No.
PSP. Shit, that was the PSP was before the Vita, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but I didn't play Final Fantasy X there.
Sony's
That was
successful handheld career. I think they've given up.
I think the only reason why they gave it up is because it's so easy to hack. Like, whenever I got it, some chick in high school that was crazy about me actually got it for me. And then I bought 3 games. And then one of my buddies was like, yo, bro, you want me to hack that shit? You can play anything you want for free. I was like, oh, hell yeah. You tell a 16-year-old that happens?
Yeah.
Cool. Not a problem.
Especially in most cases, if you want a game, you have to buy your own games.
Mm-hmm. And then Monster Hunter. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I think that was the only real experience that I had with the PSP. I still have it laying out somewhere, but I never saw a real reason to get the PSP Vita because I don't think you and I are really big into handheld whenever we want a game.
Yeah.
If it's casual, quick mobile gaming, cool, not a problem. But for the most part, it has to be just PC rig gaming.
My last handheld was, I think, I don't want to say it was a 3DS. The first flip screen.
Oh, the Game Boy Advance?
Yeah, that was my last handheld.
Like the remake, not the original Game Boy Advance, but the whatever it was called.
It would pop up.
Yeah.
That
the one that you just whoop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my last
handheld.
Yes. So
I think I had one brief. No, what did I do? I also
the closest thing I do to handheld gaming now is like apps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's really just the one.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. It's still just the one that we've been playing for like 2 years now or something.
How has gaming been for you this week?
Non-existent.
Or recently.
Pretty much non-existent. Just been so busy doing other stuff. But I did get to play a little bit of Pit People with my wife, and then played a little bit of Overwatch with my sister, and that's really about it. But now that we shared Steam libraries, there's a couple of games I want to try. Dragon Quest Heroes.
Oh yeah, that's
that
cool.
Seems like fun, but I just didn't want to spend the money on it. I also bought the Darkest Dungeon in the latest Steam sale, so I definitely want to dive into that, see how it is. It's just a matter of struggling to find the time to fucking do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't done a whole lot of... I've done probably zero gaming this past week or shit like that.
Yeah, this whole adult thing.
It's been crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I've done a lot of house chores, so that's
yeah.
You can make that a game.
It's a very sad game called life.
the graphics aren't... I mean, the graphics are good, actually, I guess.
Yeah, very 60 FPS. I like the flow.
I guess I can see in 4K.
Very interactive environment, I gotta tell you.
If I can't see in 4K, then I don't need a 4K TV.
Exactly. That's the idea.
Yeah. So, I guess we can make TVs better than our eyes, but that defeats the purpose of... Or you wouldn't need it.
Look, what I keep saying is we just gotta do away with glasses and contacts and shit. Bionic eyeballs, dude.
And then you can just change your eyes to be whatever color you want.
Exactly. You can be whatever anime bitch you want.
You can get some Sharingans in there. That'd be great.
Give me some anime hair implants, some anime eye implants, and give me the anime expression pack for my brain. And I'll be done. Like, that's it.
How has Overwatch been? Any big changes? Or I know is Hammond's already out, right?
No.
No.
He's in. I think he's in PvE right now, but not in the
PTR.
PTR? Did I say PvE?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm thinking. I think most of the game's PvP.
yeah, it is.
Cool.
Yeah, no, he's in the testing environment, and I heard during the last party that we went to a lot of talk about how he's like different combinations of shit that he can do that need to be very, very much stabilized.
I mean, I think a good wombo with anybody is Zarya, right? If she ults and then Hammond joins in.
Yeah, pretty much. That Zarya, but she's fucking tough. Like, I've been trying to get better with her lately so that I can move my...
Her kit overall feels weak, and then like it seems like her ult is just that powerful that's where the balance factor comes in.
That's the thing. It's not weak. You just have to have the right healer to back you up because...
Her shields don't last very long.
That's the thing. They're not supposed to because she's a high damage output. Whenever her shields absorb damage, it charges her weapon, and whenever you're dealing damage, it also charges her weapon. So at 100% damage output, you're dealing a buttload of damage. But if you die, you lose all of that. So it's tough to maintain that, and she's an easy target to pick off if you don't have somebody constantly watching it. But
have you heard about the Sombra rework that's coming?
No.
Ooh, you haven't heard about that?
Nope.
She's gonna have permanent stealth.
What? That's weird.
I mean, like if she's attacking, it breaks it, but like when she goes into stealth, it won't be timed.
Interesting. I mean, I do feel that she's underplayed significantly just because the other DPS are so much better. She just can't put out the damage.
I like Sombra. She's a fun backliner, but I do agree that she's not currently where she needs to be like a go-to choice.
Yeah, definitely.
So I could see definitely a rework giving her some good love, some good.
I mean, I used to play Symmetra and I don't anymore because her rework seems absolutely insane.
I don't like new Symmetra.
It's so weird.
I don't like it.
A lot of people, like I've seen people play it constantly all the time.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I do have to bow down to the fact that you told me she was going to get a giant wall, and I was like, you're full of shit.
Guess what she fucking has, Chris?
She has a fucking Berlin wall.
She has a giant wall.
She's just the wall of China, except endlessly high.
And new Symmetra, her kit's good. Her kit is very stable. I think they definitely shifted her from a support role to a more damage role, which they now homogenize a lot of those sub things where it's the tank healer damage things.
Yeah, there's no longer utility, which I guess it doesn't really matter because anybody that still plays Overwatch and isn't new to Overwatch doesn't particularly need that knowledge.
Right, like Mei and Bastion being defense characters isn't necessarily like you can use them in offensive ways or damaging ways because they primarily do the hurts. Yeah,
and I guess that's what it boils down to, just your play style. These characters can really adapt to almost anything. I mean, you can't have a sniping Reinhardt, but you can definitely have a higher damage Reinhardt.
Sniping Reinhardt is just you still get the scope screen, and then just when you click fire, his hammer just goes flying.
Okay. I mean, it does have the no. You could send it twirling like a freaking boomerang.
That'd be fun.
Well, it does have those like sauce things in the back.
A Thor-esque character who throws his hammer and comes back to him. Damn,
that'd be intense.
And when your hammer's gone, you can't. Your auto swings are garbo because you're using punch because your hammer's not there. It's out flying around
pick it
somewhere.
Back up.
That'd be cool.
No, let's not rework Reinhardt.
Next Overwatch hero just needs to be Thor.
There you go. I wonder how they're gonna work him in.
Doesn't matter. They can make it Doomfist brother for all I care.
Doomfist brother that got bit by the fucking gerbil that's gonna be the next champion.
Yes.
And suddenly Thor powers.
I love it. It's great. But I think that brings us to the end.
Does it?
Yeah.
Has it already been that time?
It's actually been 40 minutes.
Ah.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Let's get ready to go to the gym.
I knew the Darling and Frank and Wotakoi.
Was going to be
Yeah.
a good chunk. Okay.
Those are great. I enjoyed both immensely.
Yeah, and it's sad that they're short and they come to an end, but I'm really glad that I'm glad they tell their story in the way that they do, and it's so digestible and quick, because sometimes fucking Naruto level commitment is not in my time scale.
Yeah.
And this, I can look
Manageable.
forward to. Yeah, 25 episodes. All right, cool. I can, over the next 2 weeks, watch 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, and I watch the whole thing. I don't have 6 motherfucking years to watch 2 million episodes.
Do you have any final or a closing question for me?
Have you heard